Are you insane? Are you poisoning my daughter? That's what Carter Langston, billionaire tech mogul and poster boy for American ambition, screamed at me with the kind of rage you only see in courtrooms or maybe bad divorce movies. My hand was still on the little glass bottle, the one filled with my mama's old Remedia brownish liquid that looked like something you'd pour down the sink, not into a child's mouth. Emma, his 5-year-old, had just taken the tiniest sip, and even now, sitting there on that velvet couch, she looked at me like she was still hoping for a miracle, or maybe just a taste of something good. He snatched the vial out of my hand so hard, I felt my knuckles crack. "What the hell did you just give her?" he growled, holding it up to the light as if he might see the label which doctor glowing through the glass. I tried to explain to him I hadn't eaten. She hadn't drank all day. She was wilting before my eyes. "I thought you thought?" He cut in, voice dripping with contempt. "You thought you'd play backyard pharmacist with my kid? You thought some swamp recipe handed down through generations of housemaids was safer than a bottle of Pedialyte." Let me back up a sec. I've been working in Carter's house for months cleaning, cooking, mostly keeping my head down. You know how people say invisible labor? I was invisible until I wasn't. Carter never even looked at me until that moment, until he could turn me into a threat. I tried to stammer something about it being a family remedy, nothing dangerous, but he just spit the words back at me. "Your mother? Oh, how comforting. I'm supposed to trust my daughter to some backwoods witchcraft." I wish I could tell you I stood up for myself then, but I flinched, stepped back, tried to shrink myself smaller than the pain in my chest. Emma looked at me, God. Those eyes, and Carter lost it, shoving me so hard my back cracked against the marble table. I went down, ribs screaming, hands stinging, and he bellowed, "Stay away from my daughter. I should have known better than to let someone like you in this house." And in that moment, as I lay gasping on the floor, a strange sense of déjà vu rolled over me, pulling me back to the last time a white man's words crushed me. I used to wear a white coat, believe it or not. Dr. Maya William, pediatrician, favorite of the kids until I outshined the wrong supervisor. One mother's false accusation, and suddenly, I was suspended, shunted out the door with a wink and a warning not to make trouble. They didn't say it was about race. They never do. Back in Carter's palace, I dragged myself up, vision blurring from pain and humiliation. "Mr. Langston," I croaked, but he'd already scooped Emma up, not gently, muttering, "Daddy's here," as if I was some kind of monster. Emma's eyes followed me, confusion shimmering, lips parting like she wanted to say something. But Carter just turned away, voice like a judge's gavel. "You're finished here. Pack your things. You're lucky I don't call the cops." As I walked away, Emma made a sound, just a whisper. "Ma!" Carter stopped, eyes wide, but all I did was look at her, holding back a storm of words. She was trying to say my name. After almost 2 years of silence, after every doctor and therapist had failed, here she was speaking, not to him, to me. He stood frozen, and, well, I gathered what little dignity I had left and left that house for good. The kind of silence that fell after I walked out wasn't peace. It was the silence that listens for what comes next. And the next word on Emma's lips wasn't going to be daddy. It was Maya. Sunrise in LA looks different when you're alone. My back ached, my ribs were bruised black and blue, and my whole life was shoved in a duffel bag. But I kept thinking about Emma's eyes, about her voice, about my mother's journal still tucked into my bag. "Children don't always cry with sound," Mama wrote. "Sometimes their silence is the loudest scream." That morning, Carter sat in his study, staring at the remains of the vial now sealed in an evidence bag, head of security hovering nearby. Across from him, Dr. Rachel Ellman scrolled through Emma's scans, her voice low. "There's nothing physically wrong. It's all trauma. Sometimes the right person, the right moment." Carter cut her off, insisting Maya was just the help, but Rachel corrected him she was a doctor once. He stalked the hallways, lost. In the playroom, Emma curled up silent as always, staring at the garden path Maya had walked every morning. She mouthed the word again, soft as prayer. Maya. Meanwhile, I sat on my faded couch, holding my mama's last bottle of remedy and her journal, scribbling a plan of prayer. Really, I didn't know what I was supposed to do next, but I knew I wasn't done. A few hours later, Carter made a decision that surprised everyone, especially himself. He called security and said, "Find her." The moment the knock sounded on my apartment door, I knew who it was. The man in the suit didn't threaten, just said, "Mr. Langston would like a word." My pride said slam the door. But something deeper told me, go back. This isn't just about you. Back at the mansion, Carter waited. "Thank you for coming," he started, voice low. "I came for Emma," I said. He told me she hadn't eaten. She whispered my name, and he admitted what I did was unacceptable. I was angry, scared. I told him, "I'm not here for your apology. I'm here because that little girl reached out when no one else would listen." He nodded, letting me walk to the playroom. Emma sat in the window seat, and when she saw me, she didn't run or smile, she just whispered, "Maya." I knelt down, brushed her hair aside, and whispered back, "Hi, baby." She pressed her forehead to mine, and Carter, standing in the doorway, watched something in his chest crack open. Later, as I mixed my mama's herbs in the kitchen, Carter lingered. "You were a good doctor," he said. I smiled. "I still am. Just don't have a license." He pushed a folded letter across the table, recommendation for reinstatement. A start. "Why now?" I asked. "Because you gave my daughter hope. Because it's time someone used their power to fix what's been broken." That night, as Emma slept, Carter brought out 2 mugs of tea. "Chamomile," he said, learning. We sat quietly, him thanking me for helping Emma, me telling him, "Just keep listening." In the morning, Emma walked to the kitchen, her bare feet soft on the floor. She called out, clear as day, "Maya." I nearly dropped the dough I was kneading. She ran in my arms, Carter following, stunned. "She's speaking," he whispered. "She's trusting." I answered. He offered me a new job, not house staff, but Emma's emotional care consultant. "Made up job," I joked. "But real," he promised. "You set the terms. No cameras, equal say, and his assistant never bosses me again." Deal. Not long after, an old ghost showed up. An envelope slipped under the gate, a grainy photo from my hospital days, a note. "You trust her with your child?" The media swarmed. My old case reopened. Strangers called me dangerous. Emma regressed, stopped speaking, hid under her bed. "But they say you're bad," she whispered. "Do you think I'm bad?" I asked. She shook her head. "That's what matters." We went on the offensive. Carter arranged a TV interview. I told my story, didn't ask for pity, just truth. Support flooded in. But the woman who'd accused me years ago fired back, threatening lawsuits. It didn't matter his time. People stood with me. The board called for a hearing. I showed up, lawyers at my back, and told them straight, "I want my license because I earned it, not because I stayed quiet. I want girls like me to know we're not disposable." They deliberated, and after 5 endless days, my license was fully reinstated. Emma's face lit up when I told her. "But you already help people," she said. "Now other people finally believe it, too." But you know what? Redemption isn't a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It's staring at your hands, wondering if you can build something new. Carter suggested a clinic, me rules, my terms, a place for kids who'd been dismissed. I started with blueprints, then meetings, then battles with every old power in LA trying to keep us out. Sabotage, fake inspections, anonymous threats. Whitmore, the same woman who'd led the charge against me, was pulling strings, trying to bury me all over again. But this time I fought back. Town halls, press conferences, open letters. When they tried to burn our bricks, we found new ones. When they tried to shut us down, the community showed up. An old civil rights mason from Birmingham brought bricks himself. Emma embedded her lucky rock in the wall. The city council tried to zone us out, but we exposed the whole plot with a leaked audio recording. The council voted 8-1 in our favor. That was the day the world shifted. On opening day, the Emma Foundation Clinic was filled with neighbors, people like me, people who'd been told no, people who'd lost their voices. I cut the ribbon with Emma by my side. Inside, every room told a story. Art from local kids, elders' names on the doors, sunlight everywhere. Patients came in, no insurance, no English, just hope. We greeted them as family. And as the dust settled, Whitmore faced investigation. But I didn't gloat. Justice isn't revenge. It's balance. That evening, an old woman handed me a stitched square. Justice grows where roots remember. I hung it on my wall. Sometimes, all you need is a reminder that you're planting something that will outlive the hate. People keep asking if I'm done fighting. Not a chance. Because every time someone tries to silence us, we speak louder. We build bigger. We let the world see us rise. And maybe one day, the lesson will stick. Justice doesn't come down from on high. It blooms up from the dirt, watered by courage, nurtured by truth, and kept alive by voices, especially the ones they tried hardest to erase. So tell me, what's your take? Was justice served here? Or is the fight just getting started? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get real about what it means to listen, to heal, and to stand your ground.